Alright, so we're out at Red Granite Ranch out here in Livermore, Colorado, and we're working on shearing this week. We've got about 390 animals to do, and I thought that I'd do a little video for you guys about how we set up our workflow for shearing, things that we've learned over the past 5 or 6 years that have worked really well, things that haven't worked real well. We're going to be finishing up the males that are colored, so like our gray males today. And then we're going to move into juvies and yearlings and then up into adult females, hopefully today. We're trying to get a minimum of 100 done each day, if not more. We're running 4 stations with 2 shears currently. So I'm going to take you on a little tour and kind of give you an explanation as to how it is we go about running a successful shearing. Alright, so what we do is we first off pull animals by pen and pasture, and then we start pulling them out by color. And they each come in and they get weighed, and everybody's on a halter. Everyone gets led, everyone gets tied up here, and it's kind of an unusual thing for a farm of this size, but they really have worked hard to make sure that their entire herd's handleable. So as a group, each pasture comes in to the main arena here, and then we start pulling in color order. They come over, get weighed, we check tags to make sure it is who it is, and after they get weighed, we come outside and we actually blow and vacuum them all off. So another part of what it is that we do is we mark animals that need something special. So this is Aladar. He's got a clip on his head because we want to leave him with a nice show head. And then he gets his clip in his blanket, so that way we know to pull a show blanket for him. Otherwise, the shears get a little bit excited and they pull off whatever it is they want to on a fleece. So we try to make it as easy for them to understand what it is that we want when the animals go in without having to physically sit there and tell them what to do. Pregnant females get a clip on their tail, so that way they know that they need to be more delicate with them. So yeah, you can see the color lineup I've got going on right now. So we're into blacks, and then we're gonna move into classic silvers, light to dark, and then coming up into our roses and our moderns. Hey, Aladar. Yeah. What do you think, buddy? Oh, you're such a cutie patootie. Yeah, you're such a good... Oh, I know. Yeah, oh, thank you for the kiss. So yeah, the blowing out, we do show blankets get blown out, every animal gets blown out. Because of the gravel here, the granite dust, you really need to be able to get some of this dirt out, because otherwise it eats the clipper blades, and the shears have a much harder time at doing their shearing. It also really helps with a cleaner show blanket afterwards. You know, it doesn't destroy the structure of what's going on in the fleeces. It just makes for a much cleaner shearing experience. There's still going to be dirt in there, but the dirt's finally been minimized. Alright, so after they get blown out, then we start lining them up along this wall, because this is where they're going to be pulled from to go in and be shorn. And the animals stand. They stand really, really well. This guy's Pistol. Pistol's in his 20s, and he is a spicy little dude, but he's made some absolutely amazing animals for them. But he has to kind of be on his own, because he's pretty impressed with himself. So we have a central vacuum system here, and we have this large blower. So inside we've got a vacuum hose. It looks like a dryer hose, and it comes out here to the blower, and then it goes into the trailer here. It's all of our thirds and true trash, so fiber that has too much debris, has pee or spit in it, that kind of stuff. So it all gets blown out here into the trailer and then hauled off later. So coming in here, so here's our shearing setup when it's nice and quiet. So you can see the vacuum system runs across here and then down over to here. It takes talent to run the vacuum because you can clog it pretty easily. We had a year where somebody decided that sucking up spit rags was a good idea, and that didn't work too well. So we've got 4 stations here. And on the outsides, our fleece collectors are pre-skirting and evaluating the fleeces on the mat. And then they go over here to the sorting table where I then sort them. And then they go into my color lines here in the back. We have grades 1 through 5, long and short. And I have 2 different color lines set up at any one time so we can transition from one group of animals to the next. We also have the table over here where we're pulling our histogram samples for the entire herd. And we've put down these rubber mats. They're like a stall mat almost on a roll, and they've made a significant difference in animals slipping. So when they come in the door, even if they're a little bit freaked out, they have this rubber surface to then walk down into the mats. And that's made a really big difference in the calmness of the animals, because the concrete floor is slippery and they freak out a little bit if they're starting to slip and slide. And the less stress that we can do with these guys, the better for them. Come on, there we go. Okay, so when we do histogram samples here, we have Sandy, who's been here for 5 years. So Sandy's got a consistent hand, which makes a big deal in getting consistent samples every time. So she measures from mid-side to mid-side, finds her center point, and then she finds the center point from the top to the bottom to then hit mid-side. And then what we do is we use hair ties, and she pulls a section, and she'll wrap it twice so that way we don't lose the sample. And she puts it down close to the skin. So as the animal gets shorn, this little bitty bundle will pop up pretty easily in the fleece, and we'll be able to pull this consistent histogram every year in the same spot. It makes for a much easier sampling. You don't have to worry about the shearer actually going through and choosing your samples, because you're choosing where the animal's mid-side sample is.
Do you want me to open it and show?
Yeah, sure, show how. So you can see there's just a really nice little bundle in there. And it's the perfect size for doing our histograms. You know, it's right at the 4x4 spot. So everybody needs a Sandy on their farm if you want consistent results.